I'm Ashley Shoniff, and I'm on a mission to keep heirlooms around for another generation. Inspired by the nostalgia of my own childhood, we're celebrating all the things our grandparents' generation loved to do. Join me as I go off the beaten path to explore small towns, pick through vintage markets, learn to do things the hard way straight from artisans and craftsmen, and knock through my stack of splattered family recipe cards to learn the nuances of a pinch and a dash so that I can recreate these special memories for my own family.
To begin with, if you're refining your search to just sterling, everything that is American sterling will have the word sterling written on the back. So it will usually have one or two little hallmarks and then the word sterling. So here you see the word sterling, and then it has a patent date right there. And then it has a lion, an anchor, and a G. So Gorham, being an American manufacturer, decided to use that lion, which was the hallmark for sterling, and then an anchor because they were in Providence, Rhode Island, and then a G for Gorham. So that became their hallmark. So this has the Gorham hallmark, a patent date, and the word sterling on it. And then all of the different manufacturers had different hallmarks, but they were all required by law to put sterling on the back of it. And then this is a flatware identification book that starts by manufacturer and shows a sometimes line drawing and sometimes actual picture or photograph of every pattern that these companies made. And you have to consider that there are probably 1,500 American flatware patterns that were made at one time or another. And every manufacturer they made hundreds of patterns. And there's so few that are still active today. But this is a great resource for finding and identifying old patterns.
So do you have a lot of people that come in then and are missing a teaspoon or missing a certain piece and they're trying to add it to their collection?
Yes, so that was the sort of the genesis of the business was somebody would come in and say, I'm missing a piece of this or that or the other thing. And usually we had it or could find it or that sort of thing. Repoussé is the oldest American flatware pattern. It's been around since 1828. It was made in Baltimore by Kirk, and it's still in production today. So flatware is going to be around for a long time. I'll tell you something funny. Beverly used to say, what are you doing? Leave it for some other lady to use?
Yeah.
So I just encourage young people to use it, enjoy it. Most of it is dishwasher safe. If you have any doubt, don't put your knives in the dishwasher. These are beautiful examples of interesting things that were made in sterling.
It's really pretty.
And that's a Tiffany pattern called Florentine. And this, we were talking about a sugar sifter. So anything that was eaten was brought to the table on silver, served with silver, and eaten with silver. And all of these beautiful little delicacies, like berries were expensive and sugar was expensive, and you had a beautiful expensive serving piece to just sift a little sugar over it. But nowadays we use these for Parmesan cheese or anything you want.
It's really pretty.
The beautiful pierced pieces.
Yeah, I can see these little specialty pieces being more, especially in a market when you're like sifting through a bunch of tarnished things, just being really standing out.
Right, and so if this were tarnished, which is not unusual, just turn it over, sort of start your search on the back of the spoon at the top of the neck and work your way down until you find something that would indicate who it was made by and what it's made of. And So this says Tiffany & Company Sterling, and most of the Tiffany patterns have a patent date on the back because they all, once they had a design that was popular, they would patent it, and then that was exclusive to that company.
Are there certain pieces that generally you see engraved versus others?
Well, most flatware was engraved, and there were two reasons for that. Number one, it was often engraved with the woman's maiden initials, because the silver was traditionally the woman's silver. So she would, if she came to the marriage with silver, it would have her initials on it, and oftentimes it was engraved with a single last initial. And all of the major jewelers and department stores that sold sterling, they usually had an engraver on hand who would do that. And that ensured that it would not come back to the store, and that it would be
Oh yeah, it was hot.
and that it would be yours forever. And people did different things. They put traditionally either a last name or a 3-letter entwined monogram, or sometimes they would just put the single initial for the last name. Sometimes they would put full names.
Initials on there.
I do like to collect little things that have my children's names on it, or my name. My real name is Margaret, so I have lots of spoons that say Margaret.
Oh,
And then my daughter's Grace, and I have lots of Graces.
I don't know, would you mind like just looking at some of the pieces and
I
like
love them.
if there's anything interesting to point out, I guess?
I think they're great. Well, you have a great collection of some coins, some American sterling. This is Gorham, and this is a pattern, and it has a, not only does it have the Gorham hallmark and the word sterling right on the back, but it has the name of the store in which it was purchased, because jewelry stores would often mark things with their name on the back as well, so that you'd know where you got it, where to return. And it does seem to have Herbert on the front, so this could have been either a spoon that was given to a child, or they might have done a collection of them. But this is a pattern called Bead by Gorham. Wonderful old traditional pattern.
And that's one of the ones that seems like it's, you know, like a little bit lighter to me, or like a little, I don't know.
Well, it's probably been used and enjoyed for many, many years. I can tell you what year bead came out, early 20th century. And but you know, and spoons were the things that they stirred their coffee. Spoons got to work out.
They get the most use. I can see that. I feel like I never find knives either. I did bring these because I did feel like they all kind of looked.
Right. Well, this is a very traditional fiddle design, and was easy to copy and easy to add to, and it didn't matter who made it because it all basically looked the same.
Oh, so you could mix and match even.
Mix and match.
Collection.
Yes. Yes. And then it has a mark on the back of A.G. Taylor, so I can look that up and tell you where Mr. Taylor made his wares.
Yeah, and that, I mean, I feel like you can tell too in the engraving that it's older.
Yes.
You know, it just looks more like a.
Well, and this is pre-1865, so that's, I mean, and it still looks pretty good for pre-1865.
Yeah, it's held up really well.
And been used and enjoyed, and that's wonderful.
It's beautiful.